Folks, and welcome to another demoulding video. This is based around a commission that I did for a friend who literally asked me to do it yesterday. So I thought, well, you know, crack on. So the pressure pot here, as you can see, this as part of my setup has been on all night. Over there we have, for me, that's a fairly meaty compressor, which was also on all night. We don't normally leave it on all night. But I cast quite late yesterday after a D&D session. So, here we go, still at about 50. It's pretty good. So, I'm going to pause real quick and put back after I've depressurised the pot because it's kind of loud letting the air out. So I'll see you in a sec. Cool, so now that the pot has depressurised, we will undo bolts and see what we got. Can't depressurize this, and then, well, I suppose you could depressurize it and leave it overnight, but you have to make sure you've left everything in the pot for pretty much most of the curing time. So for 2-part resins like I'm using, generally 12 to 24 hours. The resin will still be soft for a couple of days anyway, so, and that's fine. We still demold it. We just have to make sure we leave it on the separate mat so it doesn't stick to everything. Okay, are you ready? What do we got? The lid's really heavy as well. So, this is my nice pot stand. It would have a second, another layer, sorry, and a handle, but the lid of my pressure pot isn't very kind of rounded at the top, so we didn't put that in. This is a great little item that I got from Etsy, from a fella on Etsy, and I'll leave you the link down in the description in case you are also struggling to locate something for use inside your pressure pot. Alrighty then, so as the dice were made for a friend of mine, we could do that first. I also made this. Now you can see there's possibly gaps around the edge. This is one of those dice molds that you can get from Amazon or from Wish or somewhere. My son got these. They're just cheap molds. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I'm going to tell you now, this one hasn't, because you see this hole here. There's a void in there. I can tell you that because despite me filling this up, making a big something here to allow the air to escape and then inputting more stuff in the top of here, I think it's just too big. So I have ordered some chunk dice molds so that we can do those properly. See, whoa, that's a biggie. So there really wasn't a big void in it when I first made it, and I was kind of hopeful that it would be smaller. But yeah, it's disappointing, to be honest. And I'm sure, and I have seen videos of people who have made perfectly good sets of dice with these. I think probably whilst it's resting in the pressure pot and the air is leaving all of the other little bits, that it's just too much. But aside from that, it's like an autumn dice. I don't know how well you can see that. There's these foil flakes, which my son gave me. He picked up a giant box of these in Hobbycraft. So I grabbed some and put them in a jar. I didn't take them from him. He said it was okay. Because I'd already made a D6 dice, which I actually have here as well, in a similar fashion. This has got the same flakes in it, with a little bit of orange, what's the stuff? The ink. Alcohol ink, that's the stuff. And just a wee bit of whatever was left over of the resin that we were using at the time. And you see that's got a
poured void in it as well. Although you can just about, well, partially see the number, whereas on here, that one face, the one is, well, where the void is basically. So you could still, it's still usable. We could still use this, and I'll still use it for something because, quite honestly, I think it's real pretty. It's just such a shame that it didn't come out. Ooh, there we go, a 5. So, and that's, I can't even read the numbers on this. Plus it's a bit early in the morning, a 7, I think. So we have those that we've made, and lots of picky resin for later. Let's pop that over there. Okay, let's do the dice, the other dice. So I put these on a mat inside the pressure pot as well, because when you squidge the lid on, the other stuff has to go somewhere. So you can see here we have quite a lot of excess left over. So we don't want to leave that on the mat there, because when it gets hard, it's easier to peel off when it's soft. So you can, because you got a bit of an idea of what the dice are supposed to look like. They were meant to be a kind of really dark blood red, but based on this, I think they might be a little bit pinky. So for these dice, I used this this little pack that I got from Amazon actually. So right here we've got a kind of reddish one, so I put some of those in. My son made some really cool stuff last week that had black, like a black sort of, I don't know, like chunks of glitter in them, and they looked really, really cool. But I didn't have any of that, so we went with red. But I have a feeling that these are going to be too light in colour. Oh, maybe. I think he was hoping for a more blood red colour. So let's just grab the scissors. You'll notice this lovely little pen box holder. I actually made this myself from, guess what? Yes, resin. It's kind of handy for putting all your little bits in there and keeping the scissors in, so you know where they are. It's pretty useful. So we know what this mould is like, so we're going to snip around here a little bit. So this is the craft and game mould that I'm using here, the sharp edge dice one. And I was going to order another one the same, and then saw a different seller on Etsy who I'd been watching was having a big old sale on moulds. Not a slab mould, but the individual but cap moulds nonetheless. So I decided to go for some of those since they were having a big old sale and discontinuing their stock. So I picked up a full set of those. And I would give you the link, but I suspect because they were all going in the sale and they were being discontinued, I bought the last of one of the things yesterday. So I imagine probably they're out of stock already because there wasn't much left of the chunk dice, which was the other thing that I purchased. So I'm looking forward to making some chunk dice, but also hopefully having some people to sell them to. Otherwise we're going to have a house full of dice, which I don't see an issue with. But yeah, my husband probably is going to be like, you know, do you need any more dice? And then it means I can't buy any as well. Right, here we go. The big reveal. It's a little bit pink. Certainly not quite as dark as I'd hoped for. I think I'm going to have to try another cast darker. Now, part of the thing that I was trying to avoid is putting too much alcohol ink in here because they don't set. Which means that I had to make up some other stuff using the red. So I made up some hearts and this wee fishy over here using the red as well. Because I was a bit worried about it not setting, but actually it's not dark enough, meaning if I do another set I'm going to have to make up a bigger batch, probably, of alcohol ink based resin, and then pour more things basically, because I don't think these are dark enough, but I will check with him, see if he still wants them. If he does not, then this will be another set that I will finish. The good thing about this set today is there is no void on the percentile dice. Yay! Although I can see where here the mould's starting to get a little bit raggedy around the edge there, just from use I believe, and from essentially having to birth dice out of that little tiny hole at the front. I think I would start getting a little bit worn as well if that was the case, so it's probably just as well that we're getting a new mould. But also maybe like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 dice sets now out of this mould. So, and there's probably going to be another set that goes in today, so pretty happy with it overall. So the mica flakes, despite me mixing them, yay, all sank to one end. Okay, I wonder what the answer is to that. There has to be an answer. Oh well, this might be the easiest D20 to come out so far. Oh, well, there you go. If you wondered what birthing a dice looked like, that was it. So, no voids. Awesome. But again, I think it's a little bit too pink for him. Might be alright, don't know. We'll check. But again, mica flakes sank all the way to one end. So we can't really work on these. I mean, we can snip the little bits off, but we can't really work on these properly for a little while. We have to give them time to set fully, which is about 72 hours. So at the moment they're still slightly squishy, which is why they need to stay on the old mat here, because otherwise they start sticking to things a little bit. And we're going to have the 8. It's come out pretty nice. Again, no voids, but mica flakes in the bottom. So these particular ones are cheapy ones from Amazon, so that could be the reason. I have got other types of mica flakes, but I didn't have something that would go into red. I wonder if something like this would work better. Perhaps if there's a red based one, I'll have to have a look into that maybe. Same issue, all at the bottom, even though I put them in the top and halfway down. Gravity, right? So the dice face that previously had voids on it on some of the previous sets that I've made is this one up here. But as you can see, hopefully there, nice, no void. You have to excuse the state of my nails. I pick resin off of stuff, and my nails don't seem to like it, so they keep breaking. It has been a journey to grow them. Some of them are doing better. You see I pick mostly with my left hand, so they haven't fared quite as well. But I have got tweezers in my little tub over here, so we'll try and pick with the tweezers to save my nails. Here we go, 12 again, same issue with the mica flakes. Not really a surprise at this point, but you can see up here, maybe can you see up here? Yeah, where this is having a small problem with the, see here where the dice has been birthed, there is a little, and that's a cat, there is a bit of wear and tear around the top of the mould, and there's a little bit starting to happen here. It's not really surprising, to be honest. You can look after these as well as you can to a point, but at the end of the day you are literally squeezing a whole dice out of that hole, i.e. An item that's bigger than the 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 dice face itself is coming out of it. Oh, hello. So yeah, that's not a surprise that it's starting to show signs of wear and tear. If I can sell some of the sets that I've made, then I should be able to get the money back, essentially, that I'm spent on the dice mould, and hopefully a little bit more for myself, for the things, for this set that I've made for my friend. If this is not kind, I mean, it might be not as dark as he's after. I've got a feeling it's not. If he wants another set that is darker, I will try again, which means I will need to try to sell these ones. Whilst they don't look all that, different, special, spangly or whatever, to other dice sets, they're still pretty nice. So they're all there together. The lighting does make them look a little bit luminous. They really aren't that luminous. They are red-ish, really pink-ish. They're actually pretty nice. So the other thing that I made for him was this. Now, I did cast this all in one go yesterday, very hopefully, because as I said before when I did this, the reviews on Amazon were a little bit concerning. See, there's me picking the resin again. I can't help it. It's there. It needs to be picked. So this particular mould from Amazon. Now, with this mould, the first one of these that I made, I cast in 2 parts. And the reason I did that was because people were saying that their mould warped, or their mould, was smoking, which is not a good sign at all. So I cast this all in one yesterday and put it straight in the pressure pot, hopefully avoiding any of those issues. But he asked specifically for a dice gel in these colours, so I've done my best. Hopefully this is going to be what he was after. It's very difficult actually when someone gives you a commission idea, because also the resins and stuff, they colour up slightly different. These bits sink in them, bits come up to the surface, and you can't really be 100% sure what it's actually going to look like when it comes out. And sometimes things just happen inside there and they surprise you. So whilst this is supposed to be an ashtray, as you can see, but you wouldn't actually use resin as an ashtray. That would be ridiculous. What's going on there? Oh, there's a little bit of a flake of something down there. Okay, so that's worked okay, I think. This was done with no mica flakes in here. This is purely resin with alcohol inks, different coloured alcohol inks, and I also used pigments. So I used some of the mica powders. So I used mica powder to colour the part of the skull. Poured that in first, left that a little wee bit as I was pouring these. So this is multiple pours of different colours on top of each other, and then alcohol inks on a cocktail stick kind of pushed into some of those spaces to give different effect. Oh, he's got a ribcage there. Didn't realise that before. So I've got some quite nice effects going on here where some of the skulls are actually different colours. So you can see that one's a bit darker. Then we've got some greeny blue ones over here, and some that are a bit more pinky, more bluey ones, and then the alcohol inks that you can see across the bottom. Now this hasn't got a huge bit here that needs to be sanded off, which is kind of nice, and I can probably use an X-Acto knife to get some of that off. I'm actually really quite happy with this. I think the colours are pretty cool, actually. I don't know what you think. It's showing up pretty purple underneath the lighting here, but I can assure you it's not quite that shocking purple. It's a bit paler, and there's definitely some sort of slightly pinkiness going on at the tops there in their various different areas where the alcohol inks have mixed with the resin in different ways. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm quite happy with that. I'll demold these other things real quick as well. These little bats here, this is from the Mouldy Tombstone. They're on Etsy. and they have a few different Halloween things. I ordered these specifically, and then I ordered a box of random things. Got to take a swig of tea, sorry. So on the mouldy tombstone there was a you pay an amount and you get 2 moulds. You don't know what they're going to be. I messaged the seller and said, hey, could I have Halloween based ones or witchy based ones? And she sent me a couple of there was one that was like axes with a little bow, and a tarot card. So as we are moving towards that particular season, we can cast those as well, so that's quite exciting. Now these batsies here, if he wants to come out, this is the first time I've cast these. So in here we have purple alcohol ink. As you can see, more of it's on the back than on the front there, but that's fine because I use this mica pigments, purple glow. Now it says do not breathe the dust, which is good. That's spot on. You do not want to breathe this in. In fact, when using any kind of mica powders, a lot of them come like this with this steel top here. Now you should be wearing a mask when doing this, and I don't mean like a fabric mask. I mean like a proper mask, because you do not want that stuff in your lungs. This is finer by the look of it. When I poured this in yesterday, this was more like corn flour. And the mica powders also are very fine dust. If you breathed it once, it's probably not as bad, but if you're using them a lot, you definitely want to wear a mask. I actually bought one, again, from good old Amazon. During lockdown, I'd like to say that I was only using Amazon during lockdown, but actually we've been using it a lot before that. Because of my mobility, we don't tend to just impulse go shopping and walk around shops and stuff. It's quite a hassle with the wheelchair and all the other bits and pieces. So Amazon is a good source, but I also check other websites as well, because you don't want to overpay, and sometimes the prices on Amazon go a bit crazy, so it's always worth double checking other places too. It does leave the most horrendous dent on your face though, I will say. If you're planning to do resin casting and using that and then deciding, oh yeah, I'll go out in a bit, you probably want to leave it a bit longer or do your resin casting when you come back, because it will leave this quite shocking dent on your face. Make you look really old, unfortunately. Or at least it does to me. So I'm not sure exactly how these are gonna look. I think they look pretty cute as they are. They're supposed to be earrings, I think, but I might use them as key rings. But I was also thinking, because I've put glow powder in here, so they should glow at night, that perhaps I can put them over the top of lights, the little lights, and have them hanging, and then when the lights go off they glow. So anyway, we'll see how these two turn out. This is kind of an experiment. We'll see how those come out. The fish is great. I'm not sure where he bought this mould from. This could be from Wish, it could be from Amazon, it could be from somewhere else, I don't know. But the little fish that he made the other day was so cute. So I've nabbed his mould to make my own little fishy. And I used again some of these flakes that I borrowed from him to put in my little fishy. As you can see, I've tried to keep some of them in the top of the wings here. Fins. But he's real cute. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to do with him. I have axolotls, so I kind of feel like I should get an axolotl mould and make my own axolotls, even though I have actual axolotls. I think my girls would like to have themselves modelled in a little mould and placed on top of their tank. That would be cool. So get this out of the way. It's very static still. This here is a little, these have got little skulls on them, believe it or not. This is from Resonate. Now Resonate actually do reusable gloves for resin, which we've been looking for a wee while. I was starting to get really frustrated about the pairs of gloves that you have to keep throwing away. It's so frustrating, and just adding constantly to the waste. which we don't really want. So I wanted to get these reusable gloves. Oh gosh, this is tricky to get out. There we go. Oh, look at the little weeny teeny weeny skull. That's adorable. Oh, you can't even focus. Can you focus on it? I have to move him back here a little bit. No. There we go. There he is. Very tiny. And believe it or not, these have got the mocha powder in again as well, the purple glow, and a teeny bit of alcohol ink. So hopefully they will... Oh, gosh. Come out, you. They're pretty tricky to get out as well. Oh, look. Flat thumb. Yeah, so wasn't expecting them to be quite that tricky. But you can see again, yeah, trying to get through this tiny little hole. Oh, blimey. Come on, actually come. There we go, he's out. Last one. So these are, would be great for jewellery, for earrings or whatever. These were the bigger ones, believe it or not. They had smaller ones. I dread to think how tricky those would be to get out of the mould. So, come on. There we go. Gosh, okay, so you can see how small and how big the cavity is on the other side. And whilst, alright, maybe can't focus on them that much, I can see the detail. Those look awesome. Super, super pleased with them. I literally have no idea what I'm going to do with them. Maybe I can go in something else. I mean, they would fit like in here, probably. So yeah. This is a heart mould that my boy got. I don't know where he got it from, but I had a lot of red resin left from dice, so I was like, oh, I'll quickly do some of these. It's possible he got this off of Wish. I'm not entirely sure. It actually feels like a pretty good, fairly substantial mould. It's very sticky, but that it feels fine. You know, it feels like it's good, substantial. These actual little hearts have come out pretty good. Again, no idea what I'm going to do with them, but I had leftovers, so I needed to do something with it. So we made the little hearts, which, you know, maybe for little gift things or something, or maybe we can drill into them with a jewellery drill, and do something with them. Quite cute. Even down to the little one. And then I have some leftover purple from the thing there. So I poured a little bit in here and then just topped it up with clear and then just kind of stirred it around a little bit. So the edge on this one's quite sharp actually. And not as rounded as some of the others, but I feel like that's because I was really scraping the resin out of the tub at this point. But either way, I do apologise for my stomach rumbling. It is quite early in the morning still. So these will get used in something, maybe with the skulls, who knows. And we might even cast some of these with the glow pigments, perhaps, if I could think of what I want to do with them. Likewise, if you have any ideas of what I could do with them, let me know in the comments. Equally, if there's a set of dice that you've seen me make so far that you're interested in seeing what colours they've been inked in, or interested in, you know, seeing how they're made, I'm probably going to do a dice casting video. I'm not very tidy, I'll be completely honest, when I'm making dice, but I think somebody commented that they wanted to see my setup, so we will do that at some point. So I'll leave links down in the comments for some of the things that I've showed you today, and if I can find out where this fishy wishy came from, I can always add that in as well if anybody's interested, or just leave me a note in the comments and we will find that out for you. And I'm really excited to see tonight what these look like and if they glow in the dark. Or maybe I didn't put enough pigment in. I don't know. That's the surprise, right? We shall see. So, there we go. Oh, crikey, we are nearly at half an hour in this video. That's quite a long video for me, actually. I'm pretty pleased with how all of this has come out. Even these, to an extent, despite the voids in them, I'm pretty sure I can use them for something else. Maybe that can be the top of a walking cane or something. Who knows? But I will definitely find a use for them because actually they're pretty beautiful. And hopefully when my chunk moulds arrive, we'll be able to make something like this that actually is completely 100% perfect. So that'll be great. So at the moment, these dice, they look pretty awesome. I'm going to check with my friend to see if he wants them, because if he does, then he's going to give me an indication of what colour he would like them inked in, and then obviously I can show them once they've been inked. We are progressing through inking the other sets that I made recently too. So these two sets, I'm progressing through inking. As you can see, I went for a red on these. These ones have a void on the 90 there, and I think these ones had the same issue. Yeah, they did. So on the 90, this one's a little bit worse because of the, you can see it's like someone took a bite out of it, except that they actually didn't. I think I'd begun inking these. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd done one of the dice faces. Who knows? It's on one of them. But I was inking up these, and oh yeah, there we go. They're on the 12. So I started doing these in a pink. Undecided about how I feel about that, if it looks right. But these are coming out pretty nice so far. So these are still usable, still sellable, even with that imperfection, because actually, whilst there is an imperfection in there, hopefully most people appreciate the amount of time and work that goes into sanding these, into painting these. And as you can see, they're in progress because you have to paint some of the numbers on and then leave it, because otherwise it gets all over your hands. Yeah, so you have to just do them in bits sometimes. So but yeah, I'm pretty happy with how these are coming out so far. I just need to polish them up a little bit more and finish painting them, and then they will be ready for someone to purchase in whatever way that looks. So yeah, I'll leave you some links down in the comments to some of the moulds, and if anybody's interested in the pigments and things that I'm using as well, I can give you links to those. Just drop me a note down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to more resin casting and demoulding, or dice birthing, as I've decided to name it, dice birthing, in the future. So take care, have a great day, bye bye.